Hey, I just want to thank you for being a part of the conversation. Let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 578 is with Thunder Rosa and Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW, All Elite Wrestling.
Good, Arrow. I was like, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. I'm not very good at pronouncing certain things.
Neither am I, so we're twins.
How are you?
Doing fantastic. You guys, working with Tony Khan and the AEW, you have really created this atmosphere of major league success.
Yes, we have. All of us. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's from top to bottom. Everyone puts in their all.
Yeah, it's definitely a collaborative effort in the last 4 years.
What I love about AEW is first of all, the storyline. I'm not going to lie to you. I love the storyline. I love the drama. I love everything, the passion that goes into each match.
You sound like it. You're getting me excited.
Oh, dude, I go all the way back to Nick Botwinkle and the Vern Gagne and all those people. So it's and even Bret Hart was just a little kid from Canada.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a minute.
You remember Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens?
Oh,
Bobby Heenan?
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
And isn't that part of the reason why you guys got into wrestling, because of those that inspired you as young adults?
Yeah, me growing up, I always heard about Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson and High Chief Peter Maivia. So from my grandparents and, by the time I was into wrestling, it was on every week. At my house, we would all gather up in my grandma and grandpa's bedroom and watch wrestling.
So true. Thunder, what was it like for you to step into that ring the very first time? Because, I mean, we all think that, I can handle this. When you're there, I mean, it's got to be like walking out there like a rock star.
For me, it was more of a physical challenge. I was never allowed to do sports when I was younger, and when I stumbled upon professional wrestling, I was like, I think I can do this. And that's how I jumped in. I didn't really watch wrestling growing up. This was more of a escape from my reality, and independent wrestling was what I used to watch.
What's really the thing about Collision on TNT is the fact that it continues to feed our need. And I think that it's the storylines, it's a connection with every generation. I mean, I'm so jealous of where we are with the wrestling world right now, because I wanted this as a kid. I always only got it on Sunday morning.
Imagine you have Dynamite on Wednesday, you have Rampage on Friday, you have ROH on Thursdays, and now you have TNT Collision on Saturdays. And we haven't had wrestling for about 20 years, and TNT is bringing it back.
I would never leave my house.
To become that wrestler in that ring, you've got to go through mental stages, because I'm a third-degree black belt, and I know that before I stepped into that ring with Taekwondo, I had to go be in a moment of solitude and then bring on the storm. What do you guys go through?
Oh, man, it depends. It depends on what the day is, what match it is. For me, specifically now, as the new Thunder Rosa is coming in the ring, there's been a lot of doubt because of, once you're coming from an injury, a serious injury, you're really, question, am I built for this? Am I going to be able to be just as good or even better than when I left? I left as a champion, and I would like to continue that because I didn't get an opportunity to, complete my cycle as a champion because of injury. So it depends, like I said, but I think everything that has happened might make me a lot more stronger than I was before. What about you, Will?
For me, it all depends on my mood.
Yeah.
It depends on who I'm wrestling, what's the last statement I made in the ring, who am I going to add in the Book of Hobbs. So it all depends. It all depends with me, man. So it just depends on who the victim is. So, but walking out there, it's an unbelievable feeling.
That is. I miss that very much.
Aren't you amazed by the way that you have very young children who look at you as superstars, and then you've got adults as old as me that think of you as like comic book heroes, and it's because of what you put into each one of your wrestling characters that really gives us a place to escape.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I just had a signing this last weekend, and one of the girls, I met her last year in Jacksonville, and I gave her a pin. And she came back and she was waiting in line, and she's like, "Look, Thunder Rosa, I have this pin you gave me last year." I mean, she was dressed up like Britt Baker, and I said, "Well, let me bring the chair, and maybe you'll remember me even more, right, when I busted in your head." But, you know, and all in all, it's beautiful. And then when I see, you know, the abuelitos, the grandparents of my friends with my figure, and they're like, "Oh, he says that you're his favorite wrestler of this, like, 85-year-old man or 85-year-old woman." They come and hug you, and they say, you changed my life. I'm like, wow, like, you don't know the impact that you have on other people. Like you said, it doesn't matter the age.
Yeah, I mean, I've had kids dress up as me, wear overalls that are airbrushed. I've had older people give me the snarl in airports, and it's an unbelievable feeling. I did a signing also, and I threw an elbow pad in the crowd, and the fan actually brought it back, and I signed it. And, you know, I sat at dinner last night, and his dad came up to me and recognized who I was, talked to his son on the phone, and, you know, his dad said, you know, "Thank you for doing that." And, you know, so it's we make a statement on people's lives, and it's actually rewarding and humbling when fans come up to you and tell you these things.
Mm-hmm.
Being on Collision on TNT, so many people think that, you know, that becoming a wrestler is overnight, when in fact you guys paid your dues. You had to do the tiny towns.
Yes, we did.
Set up rings, break down rings, get to the show 6-7 hours before.
Sleep on the floors, not eating.
Drive 800 miles, and, you know, so yeah, we paid our dues.
Did you jot it down in a journal or anything? Because I mean, eventually both of you are gonna have to write a book. I mean, that's just part of the success of wrestling.
I started to write a book when I was in Japan on my first tour. Then I stopped, but I think I probably, when I go back to school, I'll do a thesis actually on professional wrestling.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a lot of notes from the beginnings to now, so.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's such a process, especially when you're on something like Collision. And then what's neat about this is, of course, my little childlike mind is going, okay, well, one day there's going to be a gigantic wrestling festival. It's going to be every one of AE's divisions, such as Dynamite, every one of them coming together in one weekend. Do you foresee anything like that on tour?
That would be kind of cool.
It would.
That's a great idea.
It would. Put it out in the universe, and it may happen.
There you go.
Let's put it out there.
The best part about being in that ring, is it the energy, the adrenaline, or is it the build-up? Because you guys have got to be in that gym, and then the ring is the end result of that week's success.
I think it's all the above, everything you said. Knowing what you're going to do. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to do, and you go out there, and you got people yelling at you, screaming, cheering, booing. One little thing sets everyone on fire. It's all that.
Wow. One of the things that really inspired me about Tony Khan was his honesty and his transparency in the way of building the storylines. I have never in my entire life ever heard a man be so honest about how you guys bring things together, and he gives it to you to build, which I just think is amazing.
Tony's that dude. What we say in the hood, he's that dude, man. He is nothing but 100% honest. And he takes his time to talk to us.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a group or individually. So I've never had a boss like that. So, you know, and when he say let's go, everybody gets riled up. So.
That's the beauty of your art, is the fact that you've got somebody who believes in your gallery.
Yeah, and he's given us opportunities when the world didn't know who Powerhouse Hobbs was. He's given me a platform, opportunities, put me on these big stages. So, you know, he's that dude. And
he's got the gut. Well, AEW's got the guts anyway, because I remember during the lockdown, you guys did the wrestling match inside an empty arena, but you allowed our imaginations to still see it. And talking to the wrestlers before that match was like, oh my God, it is all about being present, is what it is.
Yeah, and I think it gave us an opportunity for all of us to really develop an emotional connection with absolutely every fan that was behind the TV, and I think that made us even work harder. I was really blessed in a way that I was one of those who were not signed and was brought in with Forbidden Door, who's actually happening pretty soon too in Canada. But I don't think Thunder Rosa wouldn't be who it is if that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, congratulations with Collision on TNT. I cannot wait to talk to you guys in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us.
You guys be brilliant today, okay?
We are.